Hey there, my name is Jacopo, aka Solar J. I think song mode is one of the coolest features of the Elektron workflow because it really allows you to assemble a fully arranged track without even turning on the computer. And for live performances, it's great because it frees your head from thinking about switching patterns, which pattern had that thing, which one should I go now, mutes. You can program all of that and also easily transfer the whole song to Ableton or your favorite DAW via Overbridge. Is very easy to record. In this video, we're going to set up song mode in one or more Elektron devices. We're going to write a simple but fully arranged demonstration song, and we're going to record it into Ableton for further editing, rearrangement, and processing. So the demonstration song you're going to hear now was fully assembled without any DAW. My computer was off, and this is how it sounds. Check it out.
Hang tight, 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 hang tight, 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 tight. Let's go, 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 go.
Wow, insane that I did that, all of that, without even turning on the computer. No Ableton, no DAW. Okay, let's start with a few words on song mode. Many tutorials out there, let's keep this short. By putting your Elektron in song mode, by pressing the three dots and pressing yes, song mode on, you can basically then press either twice or press the dots and then right, so you can edit your song. And in this mode, you can program the sequence that the patterns in your box will play sequentially. In song mode, patterns are basically wrapped into a different entity called a row. And a row is basically the union of a pattern, a label to name the section of the song that the row represents, the amount of times that the pattern will play, how many steps the pattern will play, and what pads, tracks, will be muted when the row starts playing. So a row is basically a section of your arrangement, like intro, verse, chorus, etc. And when you press play in song mode, each row will play in the sequence you programmed within the song. A song is then simply a sequential list of rows. But let's add a row here. We just press Func and down, and we see that we have here a loop with the label, the pattern name, the times that the pattern will repeat, how long is the pattern, and also the BPM and the pattern mute that you can, mute pads when this row will start playing. We can add another row. We can also delete song, clear row, undo the deletion, very important. And we can copy and paste as usual with Func, rec and stop. All right, double click to go in song mode. We can see that we have two rows. If you go on any of these slots, you can turn any encoder to change the value. So here, for instance, you can be intro of your song for the label. It can play 2 times and so on. And by going to the number and pressing yes, you move the playhead onto that row so that when you press play, that one is going to start playing. So basically, if I say the row 1 should repeat once and row 2 should repeat once as well, you can press double stop to go back to the beginning, and then when you press play in song mode with the yellow dots, you can see that now it's playing the intro, A1, A2. So if I press play and look at patterns, now I'm in pattern 1, and you saw that it switched to pattern 2 automatically, and it's going back and forth because the song is looping. Okay, this is song mode on one device, but what about 2 devices? How do we coordinate? How do I program the same song on these 2 guys? They don't talk to each other. That is the question. There are 2 ways that I'm aware of, and one basically involve putting song mode also on the analog rhythm, and then basically working on 2 different songs on 2 different devices, and you need to take care that they're aligned, that when this is playing a certain row, you know exactly what row is playing. So in my opinion, it's double the work, even if it allows for, of course, more flexibility, because when a pattern is still playing here, you can, switch pattern here and vice versa. But for today, we're going to use the method that I'm using for now, that I'm very happy about, and it gives me less headache. And it's basically to keep only song mode on one of the device, in this case, the Syntakt, our master, and keep it off in this device. But then how do you synchronize? Well, you can go to settings and send program changes from here to here. So you go to MIDI config, you go to sync, and you make sure that program change send is ticked on. On the other device, you do basically the same, MIDI config, sync, and you make sure that program change receive is ticked in. So now, if we look at the patterns here, right, that are playing, you see that they're also switching on the analog rhythm, which is great. So now we can program pattern A1 here, pattern A1 here. They're gonna play together, one row here, simple, effective, and then we can use the mutes, the automation, and the record stuff to make the pattern more varied with trigger locks and so on. I don't think we need to write two different songs, or at least I never had the need for that. So basically this is it. Now it's all about programming patterns here and here with the same name and add rows to our song. So let's go and start working on the demo track. Okay, let's go ahead and build a fully arranged track using song mode. The first thing I want to do is build an intro, and for that I'm going to use 3 different patterns arranged in 3 different rows, and then we're going to drop into a verse. So first of all, we have to create these 3 patterns for the intro, so let's work on them on bank F. The pattern is number 1, both on the Syntakt and on the rhythm. That's very important, and the length is set to 64 for both of them. Okay, I have a sample here. Let's say I want it to play for the first 4 bars, just this on the analog rhythm, and maybe here I want to put some of these chords, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put record mode with the metronome, and then we're gonna record some chords. Alright, so this is our first pattern, and then what we can do is copy it, go to pattern 2, paste it. Now we have basically the same chord progression, but we can start adding some snares, for instance, right? And that can be done manually. I want the 8s first to play for the first 2 bars, right? And then all of them like 16th. So we have this crescendo kind of feeling. And this guy can still say hold tight. So we're going to duplicate the pattern also here. So we copy the pattern, paste pattern. So now this should say hold tight. Just once. All right. So now we're both on pattern F2 on the rhythm and on the Syntakt, and we added the snare that goes like this. And now this is looping, but let's make another one on pattern 3. Let's copy first this one, paste it here, same thing here. But now on F3, instead of using hold tight, we're going to use let's go. And we're going to make the pattern 32 measure length, and same here. And we're going to remove the snares that we made before. Here we also want to remove the chords that we made. And here maybe we want to add an analog bass that goes something like this. Alright, now we have our 3 patterns assembled, and we can finally move to song mode. Click once and yes to activate song mode. Click twice, the song is empty. I'm gonna just add rows like this. And then here is not gonna be A01, but it's gonna be F01. And since this sends parameter changes, also on the rhythm is gonna change to F1 when I press play. I wanna loop it once, the length is good, the BPM is also good, and then we're gonna just do it 3 times, and here have F2 and then F3. We put at the end of the row instead of loop stop, so we hear what we get, and then we don't loop the intro. Let's see. Here you see where you are in the song, how you are progressing. Second pattern. You can even add effects while you play. Okay, I feel like here in the last pattern there could be some snare roll at the end, like something like this. Maybe automate a bit the volume so it goes like tut. Now we can listen to what we've done by going here and putting the playhead here and then maybe looping it and then pressing play. Okay, then there we are ready to drop the verse. So like before, we maybe start a new complete pattern. And we're both on F4 here. If you saw my analog rhythm tutorial, you know I always save a kit when I move from another kit. And then we can work on this one and on this one to make our verse. For time reason, I'm not gonna go through the whole process, but I'm just gonna use a row that I already programmed before and played for you guys. So I added a row for the verse. We can also call it verse if we like. And then I made it repeat 4 times, so we can basically play, perform, record, whatever you want to do it. So I made it a bit faster and it sounds like this. Cool thing is that nothing prevents you from playing while this guy is going, right? So you can do everything you want. You have your hands free. Let's go. And then of course it stops after 4 repetition of pattern F4, but you've seen how I was able to tweak knobs, adjust sounds, do live sound design, really perform the song without having to switch patterns or worry about other stuff that give me anxiety, to be honest. It's a great way to delegate, to outsource all this responsibility while doing a live set and actually focusing on the sound design and on the fun of it. And the last thing I want to show you is how to put this whole arrangement. Now it's very simple, right? But of course you could add a drop later and another verse and the chorus and the whatever. You got the workflow, right? With this workflow, it's super easy to take what you've done, what you programmed, and also what you perform into the computer, into Ableton, into your DAW for further enhancement, fine-tuning, EQ, and all this kind of stuff that cannot be done on the hardware. Without further ado, let's go! So to get this juicy track into Ableton, for instance, we need to enable the Overbridge mode. You go to Settings, System, USB Config, Overbridge, and you do the same here. Settings, System, USB Config, Overbridge. Now we are ready to go into the DAW. So everything you need to do in order to record the song that you made on the song mode with the Elektron in your DAW is to open 2 MIDI tracks with the respective Overbridge plugins on it. And of course everything has to be connected, but this is beyond the scope of these videos. Once you have Overbridge set up, you can play the song from the DAW. Remember, this is the intro that we did. And here you get, of course, the master. But if you create audio tracks and you route them to get as input single tracks, for instance, rhythm Overbridge, and then the bass drum here in the second drop-down menu, then you basically can record them one by one. Here you would have to say Syntakt Overbridge, which is the track where I have my Syntakt Overbridge, and then I can choose which track to record. Post FX is the master, by the way. And yeah, you have to do this once, and then since we are good kids, we save that as a template. Like in this case, I already done it, and here are all the single tracks from the Analog Rytm, from the Syntakt, all in record mode. So the moment I press record, they start to record all together.
Hold tight, 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 tight. Let's go, 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 go,
And now that you have all the singles separated, nice recorded tracks, you can edit them, work on them with all your favorite plugins and the versatility of Ableton, of course. And you have the sections clearly highlighted and you know how long they are, so you can, duplicate it quite easily and already have a very good, fast way to start finalizing a track. I really love the song mode. The possibility of drafting a fully arranged track without even turning on the computer, for me, is invaluable. And also, this workflow has some limitation, of course, in terms of effects or sound palette that you might have when you work in a DAW. But when you work in a DAW, you spend a lot of time selecting the samples that you want to put for the drum, writing the MIDI patterns. There are a lot of clicks and dragging and selecting and tedious procedures that you have to do when you start a track before you reach the draft level. But with the Elektron boxes, it's just about pressing cute buttons, and it's actually fun with all these lights and so on. And in a way, it's more limited, but I think it's faster. And I also think that, like in many other occasions in electronic music, less is more. So being limited actually enhances your creativity. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.